Hello, hello, hello. We are back for week 37 and 38, I do believe. Um, no, let's turn that off. I do believe it's 37 and 38. So we are coffee and chaos this week. Remember, we're double featuring until I'm caught up. So we'll be double featured for several weeks. Um, so today we have coffee and we have chaos. So what I'm going to start with for doing my collage on the bottom is I pulled out Scrapbooking with Me's little folder here because I remembered she had this beautiful digital kit that she offered for free to subscribers. I will link her freebie link. I will put it in the description box below. Um, but these are all freebies. This was a whole set that she offered. It's gorgeous. I love it. Coffee. Um, but the images are too big to fit on a playing card. So we're just going to use one of my misprint pages there as background. But this is a bunch of different stuff that she's offered for free. Different pockets, just various stuff that I go through. I go through about every 6 months, and I go back through her blog to see what she's offered up as freebies. If I forget, I do get the Friday freebie email, but sometimes I forget to look at it and it gets buried. So I have to go into the blog to find it. But she also did these. It's a little. There's 6 of them, but they're so adorable. Um, and I had a small print of it, which is good because I need small, right? So as you can see, my paper pulled it weird. So I ended up with a white strip here, cutting off some of the imaging. But again, like I said, I'm not. The images are too big for me to use on a playing card. So I'm gonna cut that down, and I'm just gonna be using some of this faux script up here that she did for background, part of the collage. I also have, so if you saw my community tab a few weeks ago, I caught a box of paper on fire on my stove. And this is what it was. I literally bought a case of check paper. I don't know what else to call it. Like payroll. So like this is where you would print all your, your deductible type stuff. Print the check out. You see where I burned the box, the corner that caught on fire on the box. I'm still way zoomed in on this, it looks like. Yep. So that's what this is, and it's coffee dyed. So I have that. And then I have this piece of coffee dyed paper that got stuck to the stencil. So when I pulled it off, it tore a jagged edge. So I'm not going to sell this in my Etsy shop, so I'm going to use it also for the coffee background. Alright, so let's get this rolling. Let's get going on the fun for today. I also have very, very little room. I don't want straight lines. What am I doing? Okay. Now, if you're new to all of this. You'll see when I tore, I have the white edge. That's because I tore toward me. If you don't want the white edge showing on the piece you're going to be using, tear it away, and then the white will be on the page that you're leaving behind. See, like this. So then the white edge goes here instead of here. I want my dauber, and I want my walnut stain paper. I got stuff falling in on me now up here. Okay, and this obviously is bigger than what I need, so I do have Roxy Creations playing in the background, so if you're hearing talking, that's what it is. Excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and ink this up because I'll probably be using it. Now, whether the white shows or not is a personal preference for some people. I'm not bothered by it either way. So I don't worry so much about which direction I tear, which normally my right hand I'm tearing toward me. It seems to be, I mean, it's what feels the most natural for me. Again, I'm going to ink my edges. It's just another little, when you ink the edges, they stand out against each other a little bit more. Whereas, if you don't, they kind of blend. I mean, not that they're gonna blend completely because they're, different colors, but, inking the edges really, makes them stand out. Okay. We're gonna get into this. We're going to set the rest of this aside. And don't forget, we also have the stamp that goes on this, because the stamp is the constant. And I got to figure out what I'm carrying over from last week. Let's see. This might be the only thing I have. This was last week's, if you remember correct. Well, both of these, because it was a double feature, but if I'm just going off the last, what should have been the last week. Yeah, I think this is the only one I have. Okay. Much harder to ink book page than it was the other stuff. These are very thin, so. Pardon me for just a thank you. I needed to blow my nose. Okay, so we're going to set the ink aside. Where's my dauber? Oh, right there in front of my face. And we're going to start the collaging here. So I don't know how I want to lay these out yet. So I'm going to kind of audition them, as Rachel says, Proxy Creations. She always says she's auditioning her papers. I'm going to put this down here. So then that shows underneath. Okay. I'm going to go from the bottom up. Find my glue here. And I need a glue page. Still not completely back into the swing of recording. Still pretty discombobulated. And as you can see, I'm going from the bottom up this time. As I'm gluing, that's just because of the edges that I want showing versus the ones I don't. Got a little bit of white showing down there, but it's okay. Really? Slide that over so it stops bumping into my coffee cup. Is this big enough? And that's big enough to go and finish that. So I have two extra pieces. This way. goes over there. Put that in the garbage. Okay, so I have, in addition to my little girl here, I have a die cut teacup that I cut out. I had a stain ring hanging out on my table. I could have taken out my coffee rings and die cut some more, or dug through and dug out my stencils that have coffee rings, but both of those take a little more than what I'm wanting to do this morning. I don't have any water in here. So, just taking some ink, water, and this is a lid from a glue stick. And I'm just gonna do some circles. This is actually gonna be the top up there. I do have to be careful with the printed images because I have an inkjet printer. So it will make the printed stuff bleed since I'm putting, liquid onto it. This is just a lid, glue stick lid. Okay. Woo! Boop. We're just gonna let the paper soak that up there. And here. There we go. Now this is, like I said, this is a die cut. It's a set that I have available in my Etsy shop. It's different coffee rings, and you can actually order them in color if you wanted it to look like, Kool-Aid or something. And then this I'm going to put down on the bottom. This is why I wasn't too terribly worried about the white down there. I was hoping some of that would get covered up with the coffee cup. Since we got some orange going there, let's use an orange stamp. As it sticks to my finger. This is a bigger stamp. I am gonna, now if it was just like a sliver of a stamp, I wouldn't bother saving half of it. I've done that before where I've it's just a little tiny bit of it, so I just throw it away. In this case, I am going to save the other half because it is a substantially different, it's a size that is big enough to be used as a decoration of some sort elsewhere. So I'm going to put that behind that cup. So she's going to go on top here. Do I want to just put this up over here? instead of saving it. Might as well. A little bit of extra glue. Some trimming to do again. A little bit of the cup. Rest of that. Now, I could put this somewhere else instead of throwing it away, but I think without that piece, it doesn't really look like, you know, a coffee ring so much. Although she does hide it. She does hide the part that makes it not necessarily look like a coffee cup. So I'm going back on myself. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down rather than throwing it away. Put it right on top here. So you'll just see these two little pieces hanging out. Now I was debating on whether or not I wanted to cut this little piece out down here, but I think instead I'm just gonna ink it. We'll knock it back. That's what I'm doing, going around her edges, covering up any of the white that's left over from the cutting. And then just right there between her feet, and then you can't really tell that it was there. It blends in. She's so cute. I love it. She's so adorable. I love this little kit. Not really a kit. It's a free digital that she offered. Like I said, there's six characters. And the reason she's so small is because I printed them two to a page. But if you print them as is, they'll print 6 on a full 11.5 or 8.5 by 11 page, and so they're bigger. Scoot her down a little bit. It's cute. It says the possibilities of the orange right there. That was not planned. That's my broken device here. Need my ruler, which is already out. Mark this at 1 1/8. 1 1/8 to each side. Mark the center. It's right there. green. Yeah, let's go green. Kind of pulls in from her sweater. And then we need the smaller ones of these. Stay. I feel like I want a sentiment of some kind, but I'm not sure if I have anything that is small enough. Okay. I mean, I know I have small sentiments. See, I mean, I got a ton of them. Restore. Inspire. Miracle? Sure, let's go with Miracle. Or Happy. Let's go with Happy. Coffee makes me happy. If you haven't watched my channel much, you won't know that, but I pretty much have coffee at all times. It's almost to the point I just need to do it intravenously. It's like, might as well just hook me straight up. Mainline it. Coffee gives me life. Okay, this is on sticker paper. I've used these before, but you may not have seen it. So yeah, it is on sticker paper. I'm just kind of trimming it down just a little bit to make it a little more even. And then I'm going to snip, 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 and snip the four corners. Ink. Doing something this small, I ink my fingers as much as I do the paper. There we go. Just something little, something cute. So I have my carryover item, and I have my stamp, and I have my theme, which is coffee. I've got my suit and number exposed. So there's that one. The next one is chaos. Now, I tried to show you guys in a previous video what my floor currently looks like after doing a bunch of die cutting. Couldn't get my camera where I needed it to show you guys, but this may give you just a little bit of an idea. I am going to use Fabrifix for this. Just got to get it going. Come on. It's just free flowing. Just going to put glue all over. Glue's still not flowing very well. Okay, and I'm going to leave it upside down because in order to glue over this, I'm probably going to need the Fabrifix. So, just kind of spreading it out so there's not lines. I'm just going to drop it down onto my floor. Stomp, stomp. Move it around a little bit. See, because the glue's not coming out very well yet, still, a lot of that dried before I got it to the floor. So let's go again. Again, try to spread that out. Let's see, that feels a little better. Okay, so this is a mini image of what my floor looks like. Chaos. I did this once during in the 100-day project that I did last year. Might have been earlier this year. I don't remember when I did it. But yeah, I did this for one of the cards too. And this literally is just putting glue on the card and putting it face down on my carpet, which is why you see all the extra hair. Because yes, it picks up carpet hair, it picks up my hair, it picks up animal hair along with it. I do try to pick the hairs out. If I can, otherwise, because I do kind of want it to just be the paper, but there's no way to do that, put it on the carpet to pick all this up without picking up the hair. So, what do we have over from last week? Gotta remember that. So we have scraps. There's my carryover item, is going to be a little bit of this coffee dyed paper. Oops, more than one. It's kind of the downside to some of these stamps that, they're never been used. They've not ever been on envelopes. Because they're new, they stick together a lot more. That's a little annoying. So we're gonna do some stamps here. I should have done Fabrifix because I don't know if these are, I don't know if the glue stick's going to hold that very well. Do my sentiments. Again, I'm just doing the edges to help it stand out from the paper it's going to be glued on. Oh, my tummy's hurting. These I can do glue stick because I'm gluing to paper. And here's my sentiment that goes with chaos. Punch today. In the face. Punch today in the face. Bring this down. 1 1/8. That's where my hole's gonna go. Right, pretty much right there. Alright. So there we have today's video. We have coffee and chaos. Coffee and chaos. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye. Peace out.